typical, isn't it? The day before we break up for the holidays, and it looks as if it's in for the week.
Danny, I didn't know you were back in school.
No, they weren't either. Till the rain came down.
Have you only just arrived?
How long's it been raining?
5 or 10 minutes.
Look at the state of me.
Danny, we're not in the playground now.
I know. That's the playground out there.
I meant you're talking to a teacher.
Yeah.
So show some respect. Danny, will you look at me when I'm talking to you?
Thought you'd finished.
Did you? Well, seeing as you've got this far, I suggest you complete your journey and report to your form tutor. Danny, if you don't move, I'm going to get angry. Right. That's it. You can report to Mr. Baxter instead and tell him why I sent you.
Why?
Insolence, Kendall. Deliberate, calculated insolence. Hey! Mr. Baxter's office is that way. And I shall be checking up with him to see you showed up.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And where were we thinking of going with that?
See Miss Booth.
No need, Kendall. She knows all about it. She is in charge of the wretched competition.
That's why I'm going to see her.
Is there something in the design of the poster you object to?
I wanted to ask her something.
Then you will do it at the appropriate time.
Which is?
One of the break periods. Now, much as it pains me to say this, put it back. Ridiculous idea. Just before you rush off, perhaps you would be good enough to tell me why I, as your form tutor, should have been completely unaware of your presence in school until chance threw us together in this way.
I was coming to see you later.
Oh, later. You have a more pressing engagement.
Yeah, Mrs. Regan sent me to see Mr. Baxter.
What for?
Insolence.
You do surprise me. And so does Mrs. Regan. She ought to know by now that the only possibility of your reaching a specified destination is for someone to walk alongside you and guide you safely into harbour. Otherwise, you have a tendency to veer off course, don't you, Kendall? Like a defective supermarket trolley.
You're a mystery to me, Kendall. You really are. I mean, I'm used to having kids go quiet on me when they're in trouble. But I can usually get some response out of them, even if it's only a grunt. But you, nothing. Sometimes less than nothing. I've never known a boy walk out of school as much as you do. I sometimes think you only come to Grange to be able to turn round and go back home again.
I only do it when somebody's having a go at me.
Oh, yes, of course, sorry. You never leave before you've wound up one or two of the staff, do you?
It's them that pick on me. I don't start it. Don't even take part in it.
Danny, listen. Just because you won't open your mouth, it doesn't mean you're not taking part. Now, you know as well as I do, it's your refusal to answer, or answer respectfully, that makes your teachers so annoyed.
Bronson don't need any encouragement. He was born stroppy.
Mr. Bronson to you? What about Mrs. Regan, Miss Partridge and the others? Now, they're not known for losing their temper, so why do you do it?
I don't do anything, I told you. It's them that start. Just want to be left alone.
Right. Well, I can arrange that. Here, you can have my office all to yourself till lunch break. And then I shall return and we'll resume this conversation. And next time it'll be a conversation, because I want some more answers coming from you, Danny. So make yourself comfortable and think about it.
You leaving me here on my own?
Trusting soul, aren't I?
What am I supposed to do?
You think about your future, son. I'll see you in an hour or so.
That will depend on the weather.
Who do you think I can get to second my nomination? Nomination for what? The editorial board of the magazine. I am going to stand as a representative, remember? Oh, is the meeting today? Don't be funny. I didn't realise it was today. Julia, you'll mess me about. You better be. I'm relying on you to nominate me. Oh, you must be going. Tell me you are.
I expect so. Expect so. Do you get it? Staff Pupil Editorial Committee.
Julia, I'll kill you.
Mr. Baxter?
No, Danny Kendall.
Crow while you may, Kendall. I shall return.
Don't bother before lunchtime. Mr. Baxter won't be here before then.
I can wait. And so can you. Do not dare to move from this room. Do you understand what I'm saying?
If this keeps up, we're going to be stuck inside all through lunchtime. And I fancy the kickabout.
And stop it. You know, you've got more important things to think about than kicking a ball around a playground.
Such as?
This afternoon, your deadline for apologising to Bronson.
I'm not going to, so the deadline means nothing.
It does to Bridget and Baxter. As far as they're concerned, you're refusing to say sorry for no reason.
No reason? What about Bronson picking on me for no reason? I mean, if he doesn't like my face, that's his problem. It's not my fault, and I don't see why I should have to apologise for it.
You did shove him.
He nearly tore my blazer. He wouldn't stop.
You'll be suspended.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to a kid in the Breckfield swimming team. He says there's a party going on during the holidays. Do you fancy it?
I was nearly suspended because of what I did with Imelda.
Yeah, I know. Shame you weren't. Could have had a really long time together away from school.
It's not funny. My mum and dad were furious. Yours would be too.
Yeah, I can't help that.
Yes, you can.
Oh, don't keep on. Don't you understand? I'm not going to make that apology.
Then you can forget about coming round to my house on the holidays, and you can sit out your suspension on your own.
Thought you were on my side.
I am.
Sounds like it.
See Miss Booth?
She's in there. She's right down the front now, and it is really packed.
Why? What's happening?
Well, it's a meeting about the school magazine.
Don't matter. I'll fight my way through.
Laura Regan's sitting near the front.
So?
It's just that I was wondering.
Wondering what?
Well, you know how Aunt Joe's in trouble with Mr. Bronson?
Oh, yeah. Daunting one, didn't he? Wish I'd seen it.
I just thought it might help if you had somebody to speak up for him.
Laura Regan? What good's she gonna do?
Not Laura, her mum.
Oh, you want Laura to ask her mum to speak up for Anne?
I thought it'd be worth a try.
Suppose it might. Grab hold of her on the way out.
That was what I was going to do. Only I don't know Laura that well. So I was wondering if you would, you know.
What? Ask her for you?
You are in her class.
Settle down, everybody. Let's get this meeting started. Well, I must say Miss Partridge and I are absolutely delighted. We're assuming, of course, that this marvellous turnout is due to your enthusiasm for the magazine, and not because it's raining outside. Yes, that's what we thought.
Right. Now, as you know, the idea of today is to try and find some student representatives to join Miss Booth and myself on the editorial committee. To be elected, you need to be proposed and seconded.
What does that mean? Someone has to propose and somebody has to second you, dunce.
What does that mean?
Who proposed them?
Is there a question?
Yes, miss. Luke wanted to know who proposed and seconded you.
Luke?
Oh, no, miss. Paul didn't know what proposed and seconded meant. I was just explaining to him.
Paul?
Miss?
Did Luke explain to your satisfaction?
Yeah, fine.
Oh, good. Then perhaps you'd be kind enough to explain to everybody what the procedure is.
Thanks. Proposal's like marriage, miss. Someone asks someone, well, and if they agree, well, that's it.
Really? Was that your explanation, Luke?
Just a joke, miss. You get your big mouth shut, Bertles.
Oh, I'm frightened.
All right, now, that's enough. Right, now, if you want to join us on the editorial committee, you need to find someone to suggest you. Then you need to find someone else to agree to that suggestion. For example, I suggest Luke Gardner, as he's so good at explaining things in such an entertaining way. Do I have a seconder?
Definitely.
Ah, good. Right. Well, let's have a show of hands to support Luke Gardner. We do need a majority. Excellent. Luke, you're our first pupil rep.
Any other nominations? We need about a dozen people.
Janet Sinclair, miss.
I would like to, miss, but I'm doing the amnesty posters, and that is a lot of hard work. But I would like to nominate Faye Lucas.
Fair enough, Janet. Is there a seconder for Faye?
Miss.
Right, can we have a vote for Faye Lucas? Fine, well done, Faye.
Please, miss, can I suggest we have a male member of staff, as well as you, Miss Partridge?
By all means, Faye. Have you any ideas?
Well, not really, miss. But I suppose someone like Mr. King won't be a bad idea. I mean, he does know about computers and printing and stuff.
That's a very good idea, Faye. We'll ask him. OK, next nomination. A younger student.
Callie Donington, miss.
Caroline Donington. Is there a seconder? OK, let's have a show of hands for Caroline Donington.
Look, don't worry. You'll get
Good.
it.
Caroline,
If someone else decides to stand, you'll still get it.
No more boys? Come along now. What about someone from the 3rd year? Let's have some nominations.
Please, miss. Laura Regan.
Right. Any seconder?
Vote for Laura Regan, please. Laura Regan's elected.
Why'd you do that?
I think you'd be
more
good.
nominations?
Not too frightened to open your mouth when you think something's wrong.
Someone has to.
Listen, you know this argument between Aunt Jones and Bronson?
Argument? Bronson picking on Aunt more like?
Right.
I'm glad you feel like that. There might be something you can do about it.
Ronnie Bertels joins the committee.
Any more nominations?
Sorry I wasn't here at break.
Not to worry. Kendall passed on the message in his own inimitable fashion. If by chance Kendall does put in an appearance, please don't bother sending for me. I've wasted enough time. Although, of course, if Jones has a last-minute attack of conscience and decides to apologize, you know where to find me.
Quickly, quietly. Congratulations.
Told you, didn't I? What a turnout.
Yes. Most of your friends seem to be there. Hardly necessary for you to count on support from Danny Kendall.
Can't stop him if he wants to vote for me. I was wondering if you'd have a word with Mr. Baxter for me.
Not about Danny Kendall.
No. And Jones.
Miss,
Danny,
these posters about the logo competition, did they only go up today?
this morning. That one didn't stay up very long, did it?
No, I brought it along to show you.
Danny, I designed it.
Yeah, but it says here, entries in by the 5th. That don't make sense, does it? I mean, why put posters up today if the closing date for the competition was last week?
It's a misprint. It should be the 25th.
So it's not too late then? Like for anyone who's interested in this kind of stuff.
Well, that's right. You've got at least 2 weeks to work on your design.
Me, get involved in something like this?
Well, thanks for pointing it out to me, Danny. I'll get round and alter them as fast as possible.
I'll do it, miss. Shoot around the school with my felt tip and write 2 on all the posters.
Would you? Thank you very much, Danny.
Wow. Just for a moment, I thought he was actually going to enter the competition. Do you think that's possible?
You saw his face light up when he realised he hadn't missed the last date for entry.
Yes, but Danny Kendall designing a logo for the school magazine? Can't see it myself.
We'll see.
Well, you've certainly got more faith in him than I have.
Been looking everywhere for you.
What are you hiding in here for? We're allowed to be in school when it's raining.
Listen, I've just seen Nora. What were you doing at the spec meeting?
Went to see Booth, if you must know. Though she saw me coming and frightened the life out of me.
How come?
Well, I went in just as Booth was asking kids to stand as representatives for the magazine. I thought she was going to put me forward for a minute.
I wish I could have seen your face.
Yeah, well, stuck up my hand and voted for Laura Regan double quick. Couldn't see anyone supporting me, but I wasn't taking any chances.
So that's why you did it. Laura thinks you turned up specially to vote for her.
Nah, it was all an accident.
Yeah, anyway, thanks a lot, mate.
What for?
For getting Laura to ask her mum to speak up for me.
Oh, not me. I think that second-year girl you're always knocking about with.
Georgina?
Is it? I don't know. Obviously fancies you, though.
Yeah, cheers anyway. Yeah, and watch yourself. Bronson's about, you know.
You should be worried about Bronson, not me.
You reckon?
Even if Regan does get to see Baxter, won't do any good. You either apologise to Bronson or you don't. That's all they're bothered about. And if you don't, you're the only loser.
How can you say that? You'd never apologise to any teacher.
Yeah, but this school's already got me marked down as a loser, so it don't matter. Make a lot of difference to you if you get suspended or expelled.
What, say sorry to Bronson? Oh, there's no way I could get the words out.
Why not? They're only words. You only have to say them. Don't have to mean them.
There's no chance of that.
Right. It can even sound as though you don't mean them.
Oh, yeah.
What can they do about it? I mean, you'll have done what they asked.
Come in.
Jeff,
Oh, hello, Liz.
you're looking a bit fraught. Pressures of high office.
Let's just say it's one of those days I'd rather be tucked away with you in the gym.
You wouldn't care to rephrase that, would you?
See what you mean. Sit down. You know, I used to think trying to organise a class of flabby third years into some sort of disciplined performance on the gymnasium apparatus was a pointless exercise. A lot of hard work with very little return, you know what I mean?
But being deputy head's harder.
Yeah, believe me, Liz. Trying to get Roland Browning over a vaulting horse is a piece of cake by comparison.
You sound desperate.
Ah, don't listen to me. It's probably just the weather. Although I was rather hoping that knock on the door was Anthony Jones.
You won't believe this, but I'm here in lieu of Jones. My daughter, and from what I can gather, quite a few other third years, seem to think Maurice Bronson's victimising him.
They're probably right.
Yes, I'm sure they are. So, what can we do about it?
We wait for Jones to apologise.
That hardly seems fair.
Yeah, well, life isn't, is it? You know what I mean? Some people don't get along with each other. And when that's a teacher and a pupil, it's usually tough luck on the kid.
Jeff, what do you say?
I'm sorry, Liz. I've had a gutful this morning. I was prepared to really try with that boy. What happens? You show them a bit of trust, they still let you down.
Are we still talking about Jones?
No, sorry. Kendall. He's gone AWOL again.
What, you mean you haven't dealt with him from this morning?
No.
I wish I'd known. I'd have pretty soon dragged him back in here.
What do you mean? Have you seen him?
Yes, just now at the spec meeting.
Do what?
Honestly, the arrogance of that boy. It is unbelievable.
Don't you ever knock?
Didn't realise you'd be here yet.
And just what do you think you're doing here anyway?
You said lunchtime?
Yes. I also told you to stay here.
I know, if I had to get out. Don't know how you stick it in this office. Go nutty in a place like this.
Has he ever seen an educational psychologist?
Not to my knowledge.
Might be an idea.
She thinks I'm mental, don't she? With mentals being bored, I suppose I am.
No, son. Tell you what you do. You work hard, pass all your exams, and you end up in a job like this. Then you'll know what being mental is. I'm joking, I think. Sit down. Right then, Danny. Why do you do it?
Walk out of school?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, it's against the rules for a start.
Your rules, not ours. You made them.
No, I didn't. Not all of them.
They're for your benefit, though.
You really believe that, don't you?
Of course. What else are they for?
Well, they're for the benefit of all of us. Better help the school run more smoothly.
That's what I'm saying. You show me a rule that gives me more freedom. Running the school smoothly just means keeping the kids in order. Your rules don't mean nothing to me.
So we can't touch you then?
That's about it.
Suspension? Expulsion?
No.
No. I can see they're not much of a threat in your case.
But look what happens to the kids who do toe the line. Do their work, obey the rules. They end up no better off than me.
No, I don't think so, Danny.
I know so. You talk about suspension or expulsion, and that's just what's going to happen to one of the brainiest kids in my class.
What are we talking about, Danny?
Is it really worth poking around Bronson's desk for a few bits of chalk?
Oh, just stop your moaning, Rob. I mean, it'd make a change if you came out with the idea for once. It's always down to me. And even then, I have to twist your arms to come along with anything. I mean, all I've to do is keep watching. You're still moaning. Nothing. I reckon he keeps his chalk on a piece of string, that man. He won't mind if I have a look in his cupboard, would he?
Oh, yes, he would.
Thought I'd find you still mooching about in here. Come on, I've put in a good word for you with Baxter.
You've done what?
Come on, while he's still in a good mood.
Well, where we go?
Baxter's office. Little meeting with Mr. Bronson.
Nah, listen, I'm not going to do it.
It's up to you, but I don't see the point in hanging about in here. Because if you don't come with me, you might as well walk right out of this school. She'll be finished at Grange Hill. Well?
Come in.
I've come to apologise, sir. To Mr. Bronson.
See? Tongue didn't drop out, did it?
Danny, isn't this something you're supposed to be getting on with?
Honestly, sir, it's true.
Morris, you got 5 minutes.
Ah, what a timely arrival. I was considering bringing these two boys to see you, but given the events of the morning thus far, I had decided against it.
Thank the Lord for that.
However, since you are here, it's well worth hearing the tale they have just told me.
It's not a tale, sir. It's true.
Of course. Why should we doubt that no less a personage than His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh has sponsored you both to collect, wait for it, pieces of chalk?
Oh, dear.
And the best is yet to come. So precious are these items to His Royal Highness that he is coming to Grange Hill to collect them in person.
Look, he is. It says so in my letter.
Ah, yes, the letter. A badly photocopied forgery.
No.
Afraid so, son. I think if the Duke of Edinburgh had written to you, he'd have got his title right, don't you?
What?
Well, I think he'd have known how to spell Edinburgh.
No. He doesn't do them. Someone in the office must do them for him.
You're not thinking, son. If the Duke of Edinburgh was coming to Grange Hill, don't you think there'd be some announcement in Assembly? Don't you think the paint pots and brushes would be in evidence by now?
He's right. They always tart places up before they let royalty see them.
Smart is the word we were looking for, right?
So why didn't you say so when I told you before?
You knew about this?
Wasn't paying much attention, to tell the truth. Besides, I didn't think you were taking it seriously, son. Sorry. Go on, get off out of it.
I might have had something to say to them myself before you let them go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to call them back?
No need. You were a shade more lenient than I would have been.
Come on. You saw their faces. Nothing you or I could have said could have made them any more miserable.
Kendall!
It's all right.
He is about to deface that poster.
Not deface. Alter.
Oh. So you knew about this as well, did you?
Yes. Kendall and I have reached an understanding.
Really?
Well, I've got someone in my office who's very anxious to speak to you personally. Do you know, I do believe the sun's trying to come out.